This is Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend, Scott Ferguson. Let's level up.
Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and we are at episode 308 with the 30 Second Success Queen, my good friend Laura Templeton, somebody that comes from a pure heart, a go-giver spirit, somebody that I immensely respect. She is, a lot of people will get stuck on what to say, especially if they go into fanboy or fangirl mode, trying to meet somebody, maybe collaborate with them or even pick their brain. And if you're getting stuck, my good friend here, Laura, will help you get past that. Be genuine, be organic. And that's what I love about her, that I really picked up the organic flow from our conversation and how she is probably with every conversation she has out there. She has knowledge nuggets upon knowledge nuggets. I have notes upon notes from our show, and I put a lot of my favorites in the show notes below. So without further ado, sit back, relax, break out your notebooks, because here comes my really good friend, author, speaker, coach, consultant, Laura Templeton. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I have finally locked my girl down here, Laura Templeton from 30 Second Success. We were going back and forth. It was mainly my scheduling conflicts, but I'm so blessed to have her on. Laura's an international speaker, author of 30 Second Success. Make sure that you stay on, because I'm going to have a free book giveaway on Time to Shine's dime, but my good friend Laura is going to Hancock it for you. But she's out there at 30 Second Success, ditch the pitch and start connecting. And communications consultant Laura Templeton, chief instigator at 30 Second Success, works with inspiring business owners and professionals who understand the power of connecting and having an impactful 30-second message that leads to deeper conversations and more opportunities. And Laura, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is purple. It's always been purple. Not sure why. But the fun thing is my daughter and my granddaughter both love purple.
Love it.
So there's a connection there somehow.
It's a mix between red and blue. And so people like us, we probably have both sides, the blue calm, and then the red, you can get a little fired up and whatnot. I love that you said purple. It's regal too. And it's in your color wheel. So it looks fantastic on you, yes. I'm sure. Love it. So Laura, let's get a little bit to the roots and how you really got started on really making this 30 second to success, this pitch, if you will, really relevant when it's really freaking needed.
So thank you for that question. It kind of was one of those opportunities that fell on my lap. Okay. Literally. I stepped into a leadership role years ago. I had been involved in network marketing for a really long time, had a lot of amazing training during that time with network marketing, a couple different companies that I had been promoting, been in their trainings, actually did a lot of training for them. And one of the things that I found when I stepped into a leadership role with a networking organization, because, in network marketing, you use networking as part of your marketing strategy.
Yes, ma'am.
Stepped into this leadership role and watched these amazing women that I absolutely had come to know and love literally fall apart when it was their turn to do the 30-second message. They would stutter, they would stammer, they would literally say something that had nothing to do with their business. And it broke my heart. It just made me want, half the time I'd be like, oh, let me do your commercial for you. Because I had learned.
I know, I've been there. I want to.
Please let me do it for you.
Yes.
Right. And it's just, the idea behind it was just I knew the formula. I knew how to express who you are in that 30-second opportunity of sharing your brilliance with the world. And just, I wanted to make sure I was on savior mode. Okay, let me help you. I need to get you out of this, because I'd watched these amazing, confident women just literally fall apart, and it made me hurt. It literally physically made my heart hurt. Stepped into the opportunity, really started coaching people through this, because I couldn't find anybody else to teach them. That was the problem. I could find people to talk about networking who would talk about your 30-second message, but there was nobody out there really teaching how to do your 30-second message, right? How to craft it, how to deliver it, what the true purpose of your 30-second message is, which really is not to sell yourself. Ding, ding, ding. It's really about connecting with your audience and getting them to want to know more. And when I started helping people, obviously your network doesn't just network with you, they go elsewhere. Yes. And word got out that I was teaching. Then I started getting requests to teach, to come and speak to other groups. And it just blossomed from there. The whole idea, 30-second success, the name literally, like, it was one of those, brilliant moments that was like, and I was like, oh, I love this. Love it. And I started just like feeling into it. And just the business model all kind of came together organically. Looked at it from an amazing opportunity. About a year into it, I came home and I said to my husband, I think I know I'm going to like launch this new business, like for real. He's like, people going to pay you for that? I'm like, they already are. Yay. Love it. Yeah. So I was well on my way to building that as I was kind of stepping out of the network marketing arena. Since some things had changed within the organization that I was with, it just no longer really resonated with what I wanted to do. And I was ready to do something on my own. Wow. Right. Instead of allowing someone else to have control over what my future looked like, it was like something on my own, make it or break it kind of deal for me. And that's where it went. It's been an amazing ride. Wow.
So what kind of support did the hubby and the family give you when you really wanted to step out into the 30-second, success realm and help others level up their presentation?
Oh, amazing support. My husband and my kids are grown at this point in time. As a matter of fact, I think they were in high school at that point and know how passionate I am about helping people. So they were very, very supportive in me creating something also that didn't take me out of the house as much as network marketing had. Right.
Really? Okay.
Because in network marketing, you are on 24/7. Like I was one of those people that was like in your house, like doing demonstration kind of things, and other times I was going to conferences and trade shows and all those other, and it gave me the opportunity to really kind of add a little bit more stability and be in control of my own hours.
Yes.
Right. And it was like, I want to work with people. I'm going to work, that 9 to 5 in that realm of, hey, my kids are in college, they're not in college yet. They weren't in college at that point in time. They were in high school. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I was still able to be involved in what was going on. And you know what, I have to clue people in on the fact that when your kids are in high school, even though you think they've gotten bigger and older and you can have a little more freedom, you need to be there for them. Their problems just get bigger when they get bigger. And being able to be there for them was amazing. But my husband and my kids were super, super supportive. Still are. My daughter, she's awesome. A stay-at-home mom with her 2 little babies, launched her own business. So fantastic. It's been able to model that. She used to be my little assistant when I go to do my home shows. Yeah, she launched her own business, which is pretty awesome to be able to, pretty proud of the things that she's creating.
And you're a grandma?
I am a grandma.
Look at you. That's fantastic.
2, a 5 and a 4-year-old, and they are awesome. They are
You don't look near old enough. So that's a huge shout out your way for the way you take care of yourself. So then with you, so you coach people and then they come to you to learn that to polish up that 30-second pitch, if you will, or not pitch, the 30 seconds to success. Is there any secret sauce during maybe your discovery period with them to maybe help them find their blind spots?
The biggest thing that I find, and a lot of it is strategy work, because, people think it's really about your message, and it's not. It's the fact that either A, you're lost in your business and you think you can do, everything that you used to do and all the new things you want to do and still have time for yourself. But the biggest thing that I find with people that I work with is they're either in that super duper creative mode where they're really up-leveling their business, and now their message that they've had for years is no longer resonating with them, but they just can't figure out that communications piece because they haven't really kind of lived into what it is they're creating, right? So I align myself with them, and I really do a lot of deep strategy work when I do the one-on-one coaching with clients. And, there's such an amazing opportunity to just, I love peeling back the layers of someone else's business, right? Sure. And really getting to know them, really understanding what their vision is, what's that passion that's driving them to create something exciting, and invigorating to them, but also that's going to serve who they want to serve, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's really about being in a heart of service.
Yes.
When
Absolutely.
you're thinking about it, it's like, how can I help people? What is it that you're delivering day in and day out? And if you were kind of lost in that creative mode, a lot of my clients come and they've been doing the same thing for so long that they just can't figure out how to get beyond that.
Wow.
So there's strategy work that's happening in there too. So it's the big communications piece. A lot of times I'll do workshops. I have a workshop coming up on June 1st.
Okay.
And that's a free workshop. It's on my LinkedIn page, and it's an event through LinkedIn. And it's really about communicating your brilliance and helping people figure out what it is. Like what is it that people need to hear from you?
Right. And that wants to keep them coming back for more.
Right.
It's huge. That's huge. So maybe when you're in this discovery period time, when you're sitting down and making sure they're the right fit and you're the right fit, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
I think the thing that I have to share with when I'm having organic conversations with people, it's not a sales conversation.
Exactly.
It's really not a sales conversation. I think there's so much opportunity to just get to know people and giving them the space to share. Right.
Wow.
Really giving them the space to answer your questions. One of the things that I wish people would ask me, I've never really thought about that, but that's I think one of the things that I like to share with people is that background of what my network has done for me. Right.
Oh, yeah.
How I've learned from the people that I surround myself with and the choices that I've made, right? The choices of who I network with, who I connect with, who I'm following, right? Because, and I'm sure there's, I can't even tell you which book it is that I read it in. It's like, it's all about, and I've watched people talk about it from stage. It's, you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm sorry. It's more than 5 people.
Yeah. It
right.
It's
the sum of everyone you surround yourself with, because you start to attract the people that you want to become.
Absolutely.
When you put the right message out there. Right. So when I talk with clients and I talk with, people in my workshop, it's like, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Sure. Absolutely.
Who do you want to work with? Not today, 10 years from now. And how are you attracting that person now? What are you saying that resonates with them? How are you speaking to their heart?
Right. Love it.
It's the power of the heart, the emotions. We're emotional creatures.
Absolutely.
Right? We are meant to love one another. We are meant to serve one another. And if you are not in a heart of service, if you're like that mechanical, it's all about money thing, that's the conversation that's really hard to have.
And people pick up on that. It's so true. I'm just trying to figure out how to really structure this kind of question for you. When you're coaching these people, do you have them basically give their 30-second, I'm going to call it a pitch. I know it's not a pitch, but in the 30-second to success to you, and how long does basically kind of coaching sessions last with you? Because this is the question I want to ask is that, I hire you to polish my 30-second, in front of people in my introduction and whatnot. How long are they clients?
So I have a couple different programs, and it really depends. I have a couple. I tell my clients all the time. I like joke about this. I'm like, look, I know you're signing up for my 6-week or my 90-day program, depending on where you're at in your business.
Sure.
But the truth is, once you're mine forever. You become part of my family, right? Because I want to make sure that we're, I'll check in with you, make sure you're still in alignment with your messaging. If things have changed in your business, maybe it's time that we need to kind of brush things up. Be careful not to get stuck in that. Here's my old message mode, even though I'm doing something new.
Yes.
But this is just gotten to be comfortable here. I can do this without, screwing things up too bad. And yes, it is it's funny that you said about being a pitch. And yeah, I talk about ditch the pitch and start connecting. It's going beyond, right?
Sure.
It's your message really is, it's got to resonate with people enough to get them to want to know more.
Right.
It is a mini pitch in a way.
Right.
It's where the deeper connections and the conversations go afterwards. That's so important. And that's part of the coaching process, right?
Yeah.
It's coaching people on how to have the conversations, the deeper conversations.
Thank you for elaborating, because some people that might see this be like, I'm just hiring her for a pitch, but you're there for life. You have that go-giver mentality. And also as your pitch gets better, your vibe attracts your tribe, and then that gets bigger. So you're going to need that guidance on down the road to continue to keep and stay polished. I love that. Right. Love it. So let me ask you something. Have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the Double Deuce, the 22-year-old. I don't know if it was Templeton then, but let's go back to the 22-year-old Laura. Is there any good knowledge nuggets that you might drop on her that would maybe not so much change anything, because we all have our journeys and we have to appreciate them, but to maybe help them level up, maybe just a little bit quicker, just shorten that learning curve a little bit?
Yep. Trust yourself.
Love it.
Trust yourself, right?
Let's go deeper on that.
Yeah. And I think, I've gotten to the point where, and I'll be brutally honest with you right now, I'm 58, proud of it, and I think if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would have gotten so much further, so much faster. Mm-hmm. Being in service to other people has always been who I am. My dad was my mentor, my guide on how to communicate with people. I would watch this brilliant man literally stand in a crowd of people that he did not know and engage everyone, right? But being a good listener, serving other people, trusting your gut. Like, how many times do we second guess ourselves, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if I stopped second guessing myself, I would have done so much more, so much sooner.
Ooh, love it.
Right?
A lot of times people stop second guess themselves because they don't know, meaning like that's where we say, get your asking gear. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know, so you start second guessing yourself. And I remember when I first started becoming a speaker, I have a booming voice and I can carry a room, but I didn't have that connection like your father had. That's something that I've had to polish with my coaches and stuff. And I'm known as the rebounder guy. I take a trampoline on stage, and the first 2 minutes of my speech, if you will, is me jumping up and down on a trampoline and telling them the benefits of rebounding and how I'm 50 years old and I don't have the pain and stuff. But the best part about it is as you're rebounding, everyone's head's going up and down. So they're starting to affirm everything, whether it's don't take life too seriously, you're not making it out alive, or my overlap your happiness speech or whatever. So that's something that I put together with my coach to really start the engagement process, because they would see that nervousness and I was afraid to engage in certain things. People were like, Fergie, you're afraid to engage? I'm like, shit, man, I didn't know, some things. And I love that there's someone like you out there that's going to put them in that mindset. And so you've talked a lot about giving. Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you open to reciprocation?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I love when people
to you of it reciprocation.
Yeah. I think the thing of it is, we learn so much by allowing others to pour into us.
Wow.
Other people are so willing to pour into you when all you have to do is ask. Yes. I just posted something on LinkedIn the other day. I was in a spot. I found myself in one of those funky spots where I was like allowing fear to kind of hold me back. Wow. And I said, talk more about that 30-second. Right now, I'm talking about a lot about your 30-second decisions, right? I made a choice in that 30-second window when I recognized the fact that I was holding myself back from doing something that I needed to do. And I reached out to a friend who I knew was going to kick me in the ass and make me do it.
Right.
And he did. He really did. He just kind of like called me out. He said, all right, here's what you're going to do. When you're done, I want you to do one thing. He says, I want you to go over into your husband's office. I want you to tell him to give you a high five and celebrate with you. And when you're done doing that, you're going to come back and you're going to message me that you did it. Then we're going to celebrate.
Yes.
And he held me to it. Right. Yeah. So it's making those decisions that move you towards action that are so key. I love that you shared about bouncing on stage. One of the things that people are keep calling me out on is like, I'm an archery instructor. right? I'm a certified archery instructor. And like, how incredible would it be? You know, I want to use another word, but I won't because we're on audio and I don't know who's your listeners. But he's like, how incredible would it be if you came out on stage and freaking shot an arrow at a target? And even if it didn't hit the center, you're still close, right? Your message is the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, talking about your target audience and everything. I'm like, how many venues would let me actually shoot an arrow on stage? That's what's holding me back from doing that, right? I'm like, maybe I need to call a couple of venues and say, what kind of insurance would I need to actually come to your stage with a bow and arrow?
That would be awesome. It would be awesome. That'd be fantastic.
I'd have to maybe some of them might require me to, you know, shoot flu arrows with, you know, like a tennis ball in the end. I don't know, but it might be fun.
I mean, I'll stand out there with an apple on my head. I trust you. You know?
There you go.
I love it.
I'm actually pretty good.
Okay. No, I take your word for it. That's fantastic. So how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date on your tombstone, which hopefully it's years down the road. How do you want your dash remembered?
Loved.
Loved?
Loved.
Let's go deeper. Loved what?
No, I think that the biggest thing is, to me, it's just loved by family and friends, right? People that are here for me. I just want to love them back and you know, be a servant leader.
I love it. I love it. And do you have a coach?
I have several.
Me too. Okay.
Coaches have coaches, right?
Yes. Yes. The coaches that know what the hell they're doing have coaches. Absolutely. I love it. And what I love about you, Laura, and Squad is, you know, I talk a lot about my, it's not mine, but what I was taught when I was younger, my plus equals minus. That people like Laura and myself, you know, every day we're the plus, you know, we're reaching out to people that are higher than us or in the place where we want to be, which she talked about a little bit earlier. About you see people that you might want to emulate a little bit, not be them, but emulate them a little bit. And then you have the equals where like Laura and I, you know, we would bounce stuff off of each other, you know, and see where it's at. And then also the minus, which to me is the most important, that builds that mentoring is people that are wanting to be you in a sense and emulate you and bring you forward. You know, we all say, you know, that the more mentoring you do, the more immortal you become. And that's something that Laura does because, you know, you've said that so many times about giving, but being open to the reciprocation as well, but also helping people and you want to take them with you because like you said, you know, 5's really not enough. The more people that you have in that vibe and that tribe and soaring like eagles into the atmosphere that nobody else can breathe in is important. You want to take as many people as possible with you, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It thrills me to no end when I get to witness somebody that I've helped overcome that struggle of communication. One of my favorite stories is a client that I had that literally would stand up with cue cards in her hands would be shaking, she'd be stuttering, and she still couldn't get through her 30-second message, right?
Wow.
And after working with her, I literally got to witness her stand up, put her hands on her hips, stomp her foot, and deliver her message without a cue card, without any stutter. She owned it. And everybody in the room started clapping. Like everybody in the room started clapping. It was like, that was like the moment that was like,
right.
Oh my gosh, this is life-changing for people, right?
Yes.
So it's just, when you can pour into people and just have that kind of impact on their life, it's such an incredible rush. And yet there's so much humility in it. Like this is a gift I was given.
Right.
And shame on me for keeping it to myself.
Love it that you're spreading it out there. That's fantastic. So what do you think people misunderstand the most about you?
I think there's a little bit of confusion around that 30-second message. A lot of people think there's such a, you know, it's kind of like the brand, right? It's I think there's just creating more awareness of how much more goes into it.
Yeah.
Right. There's so much depth in that 30-second conversation. Right. And there's so much depth into how that message can change your confidence overnight. You know, and it's so funny because I network a lot with men and women, men predominantly. It's a lot easier for men to talk about themselves. You know, I have a couple of clients that are men and most of my clients are women. But I find that even men sometimes miss the mark of understanding that it is an emotional connection that has to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
There it is.
Especially in today's day and age. I think emotions are driving people to make decisions almost overnight. Right. Yeah. It's kind of like that instantaneous decision making that's happening in our world as we're evolving and we're looking for people to help us.
Right.
And, that instant gratification thing. Hey, the internet has caused us all to like, hey, if I've got a problem, you need to fix it and you need to fix it now.
Right.
Right. It's the instant gratification that a lot of people are making decisions so quickly. And if you're not able to get in front of them and have a deeper conversation with them, see, that's where the connection begins. That's where you mentioned Go Giver and Bob Berg, right? Bob Berg,
my neighbor, Bobby. What's up, buddy?
One of my favorite people. And he talks about know, like, and trust, right? He's the one who coined the phrase know, like, and trust, right? People do business with people they know, like, and trust. But if you're not even able to crack the window where people are willing to have a conversation with you, and that's what I think your 30-second message is really the door opener. It's really the invitation for people to have a conversation with you.
Right, because they want to know more.
Right. You've got to get them to connect with you on an emotional level so that they are looking at you going, oh my gosh.
Love it.
I want to know more. Even if it's somebody like, hey, I've taught financial advisors how to stand out in a crowd of a room that has 3 other financial advisors.
Sure. And then also how you can get a story out there.
Realtors, the same thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of times it's really about your messaging. It's how you come across when you're talking to people. It's about having those organic conversations, but it's also about really understanding what your vision is and really understanding what the trajectory is for your business, right? That's where the strategy comes in.
Right.
And that's where the layers of your business have to come in, because you have to be able to explain to people, this is what I offer. This is where I'm going. This is who I'm helping. Who do you know?
Love it.
Right.
So what is your definition of a life well lived?
I think the definition of a life well lived is really getting to the end of it and saying, you know what? I've been able to live a life that is in service of others, right? That's my heart. It's really about being in service of others, giving when I can, giving what I can, and always looking for more opportunities to give.
Right. And if you can't give it, you'll know somebody that can, because you surrounded yourself with a tribe and can refer them. I absolutely love that, Laura. Thank you. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. We are back with Laura Templeton, the 30-second success pitch speech. Fantastic, everything. And everything's going to be in the show notes. So you have to go watch it. Her videos are fun, engaging, and you can tell that she just loves what she does. And you and I, Laura, will be able to talk one day in person, since we live kind of close, about each one of these questions, 15, 20 minutes maybe, but you got 5 seconds with no explanations. Are you ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. What is the best leveling up advice Laura's ever received?
Do what you do best.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Morning and evening routine.
Beautiful. So other than your book, and you see me walking down the street, maybe I'm in a little bit of my doldrums, like Fergie, he needs to read this. What book is it?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule.
Mel, baby. Love it. Good times. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text?
I actually use 3 hearts with my company's business colors.
Beautiful. I think I might have gotten a text like that. Good stuff. So any nicknames growing up?
No, surprisingly enough.
Really? Okay. Very cool. Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Monopoly.
All right. We're good friends now. What's your go-to ice cream flavor?
And chocolate chip.
Mine too. Listen, we are like twinsies here. Beautiful. There's a sandwich called the 30-second success. What's on that sandwich? It's named after you.
Oh, what's on that sandwich? Probably peanut butter and jelly. No.
You're gonna get some potato chips and grind them up on it too. I love PB&J.
A little bit of mush.
So you have access to a time machine for one day. You come back to present day. You can't change anything at all. Would you go anytime in the future or anytime in the past?
No.
No?
I would stay right here.
I so want to go back to this kegger I was at in 1989. That was an epic night. I'll tell you that. I just visited. Hell yeah.
No, you know what? Everything that has happened to me in my life got me where I'm at. That's why I'm happy, and I don't want to know what the future holds because I love being surprised.
Me too. And I would always go back, just to see stuff. But again, so many people have a foot in the future, foot in the past, and they piss all over their present. It's like, live now. I love it. I love it. So what's your favorite charity and organization like to give your time or money to?
I do a lot of giving, and Hands in Service is one of my favorite organizations to support. Yeah, okay. It's a small organization. My mom and dad have volunteered for many, many years. And yep.
Beautiful. Last question. We can elaborate on this one, even though we elaborate on others because I broke my own rule. But last question. What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Oh, 70s.
70s. Now, who's your jam then?
Classic rock. Come on, the
Doors.
You
go. Oh, yeah. You got everything. I'm an Eagles guy. Eagles was my jam. And, I grew up, I graduated in 90. But, the 80s was my jam. But 70s is usually what I have on in the background, as I go through. I love it. So, Laura, how can we find you?
Easiest way to find me on social media is just 30 Second Success. I've used that branded everywhere.
The hell out of that. I love it.
And even my website, 30secondsuccess.com. It's the easiest way to find me.
I love it. Did you start writing your book before COVID or during it?
Launched it right before COVID.
I was going to say, because it's like a March, May or something like that, 2020 release, right?
Yeah, I released it January 2020. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, it really focuses mostly on the in-person networking, but I was smart enough to add a little comment in there that virtual networking is very much like in-person networking. So yeah, so I love it. So that was it was interesting because doing a book launch when nobody's listening because the world is going to hell. It's okay. That was a little hard. The PR side of it just kind of tanked, but hey, got a lot of traction. A lot of people are picking it up now. So
beautiful. And hopefully a lot more people will. And Squad, I am going to personally purchase a book and have Laura sign it if she doesn't mind and mail it out to you. I can take care of the postage as well, but you have to put the first one to put Dirty 30 in any of our comments on social media. We will send that book out to you. So I can't wait to get my copy as well, because I'm gonna buy it and read it as well, although I'm a Kindle guy. It's just how I roll.
Hey, it's on sale on Amazon right now on Kindle.
It is.
Yes,
it's dropped looks like it's dropped quite a bit. Yeah, absolutely. So give me one last solid, Laura. Leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to remember is when you are networking, remember that the people in front of you are just as human as you are.
Oh my gosh.
The best way that you can connect with them is to support them in their growth.
Yes.
And then, it's the give to get to give mentality.
Yes.
That was a gift someone shared with me one time. And the whole idea is you give and give and give until you get, and then you turn around and give some more.
Give it some more. I love it. And it's never enough. You can never give enough. That's the thing. I absolutely love it. And Squad, we just had a free masterclass with my good friend Laura here. Found her, she was in a leadership role and found that, people were falling apart in their 30-second presentations. She felt empathetic for them. She saw through their eyes. She saw that, hey, I can really help these people. So, she reminds us that the true 30-second presentation, it's not to sell, it's connect with the audience and get them to want to know more of what you're talking about. She is a big believer, really take control of your time. Don't trade time for money, but during the time that you have, make it make sense and give until what we say hurts so good. She says it's not about your message, or everything's about your message. It's not always about you as a person. You may be lost in your business. You might be in a creative mode and you can't make that communications part make sense. But that's where Laura can help you do that. She can help that make sense. She tells you to really lean into your passion, create an exciting and invigorating part of your business, and do it all from a level of service. In a great coach, no matter what, during that discovery time, Laura, she says, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Really listen. And that's what the coach should do. They should ask you powerful questions and get to know you and give you time to share. You are, how can I say this? I have notes here upon notes. I'm just picking the best ones I can find here. She wants you to trust yourself, be in service to others. And if you don't know something, get your asking gear, because there's people out there that are willing to share it with you. We learn so much when we let people pour into us, and also be able to reciprocate, let people pour into you as well. She's be remembered as someone that gave love and received love. Again, it's okay to reciprocate. It's good to get as well, and she's someone that I believe that she does what she loves in the service of people that loves what she does, and that they can see it because she's so passionate about it. She's planting trees that she's probably never going to sit in the shade in, and she's okay with that. Because we say that the tree with the most fruit is the one that bends to the ground. And that's what she's doing, is she wants to bring you along. And lastly, when you are networking with people, remember the people that are in front of you are just as human as you are. Help support them in their endeavors. And if you have to get up in front of these people and give that 30-second success pitch, if you will, do it scared. It's fine to be scared. That's something that I'm sure part of her coaching is about, but just do it scared. And Laura, you level up your health, you level up your wealth. You're humble, yet curious, and very kind and hungry. And you've earned your varsity squad letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on. I absolutely love your guts, and I cannot wait to collaborate with you in the future.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to be here with you. I enjoyed hanging out. I'm sorry it's over. So
yeah, we'll do more.
Definitely. We're going to hang out soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Take care.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast, proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you're a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.